The angel whom I saw standing on the sea and on the land raised up his hand to heaven and swore by him who lives forever and ever, who created heaven and the things that are in it, the earth and the things that are in it, and the sea and the things that are in it. So everything. So that no angel, no entity may say that he made one thing or the other. For even if they were used to do something in creation, they were as tools. Like, for instance, a person may have, well, whatever job he may have, he may create something. And that's something that he may create, he may find it, well, let's say it takes too long to create that thing that he's creating. So he might come up with an idea to create a tool to help him build that faster. And that is being even smarter than he was by the fact that he uses something else. He uses his intellect in order to create something else in order to help him to work faster. And that is done in every area of our lives. We find shortcuts, we find better ways to do it, and that's why well, technology has increased so much. Well, not only because of that, also occult knowledge and knowledge from the fallen angels and all of that. But my point is that I say all this explanation, which I know is very simple and easy to understand, because in Judaism they see it as a heresy to believe that the Almighty would use an angel to create something. They think it's heresy because that would mean that the angel created it. However, that's not really what it is, because if Yahweh created the angels, then anything that the angels do or create would be created by he who created the angels. Obviously, not taking in account the evil that the angels do. However, even if we wanted to, in Isaiah 45:7, we see how the Almighty is the one who creates darkness and forms light. So since he creates darkness, he does it through the creations that he made at first. Those creations think to be in rebellion, so they do things unlike what the Almighty wants, and those things are what pretty much led humans to sin and death, destruction, and all evil. So the point is that the Almighty, as a king, says the word and everything was created. Just like when a king says he wants to have a bridge, and then he has a bridge and he calls it by his name and he says that he built it, even though through his word there were people who were sent with his authority to do the work. And that is part of being a king, as the Almighty is king. So when the Creator did everything, he himself hid from his creation. So his creation, not only humans but also angels, some of them have thought that the Almighty is not watching, that the Almighty created and left. So some angels had thought that they can keep creation for themselves by fooling humanity into allowing them to rule them. Hope that's understood. So that's why we are in a war, spiritual war, against principalities and authorities in the heavens. So verse 5, then the angel whom I saw standing on the sea and on the land raised up his hand to heaven and swore by him who lives forever and ever, who created heaven and the things that are in it, the earth and the things that are in it, and the sea and the things that are in it, that there should be delay no longer. I find it very interesting that, as always, as I always mention, for those who always listen to the studies of this ministry and also, well, in Spanish, Every time that we read scriptures, it kind of connects with the time in which we are, one way or another. And with other studies that we've made in those days, like for instance, as you know, I make studies on Monday, Tuesday, pretty much Wednesday, which is the radio, Thursday, and Saturday. But most of the time it's in Spanish. And they always connect one way or another, even though I'm reading different books, and even though I started reading like a year back. For depending on the book, it might take like a year to read the whole thing the way we do it. So as we know, as I mentioned earlier, we are ending the year tonight, and the year that is about to start tomorrow obviously starts with Aviv, the first month in the Hebrew calendar, and that is the month in which Pesach happens, which is when the Messiah came, died, and resurrected afterwards. And as I have explained, just like the Messiah ended on Matzot, unleavened bread, the feast of unleavened bread, now the two witnesses will begin on Matzot. So I find it very interesting, as I had said, that everything seems to point to the last week of Daniel starting very soon. We are so close because of all the signs that it could even start this next year that is about to begin tomorrow. And if it does, it would begin in about 2 weeks with the two witnesses starting their ministry. And like I said, the chapter regarding the two witnesses is the one following. So by next week, which would be 1 week before Matzot, we will be reading the chapter of the two witnesses. As a matter of fact, it's such a long chapter, or at least the information regarding it, that we might last 2 weeks. So we most likely will be reading the chapter of the two witnesses in the day in which the two witnesses would begin their ministry, if everything starts this year as it appears, for a bunch of reasons, a bunch of signs. There are way too many, all fulfilled at the same time. So it could very well happen. As a matter of fact, remember that I made a calculation regarding the year in which we would be at the moment, and if the calculation was right, it would be pretty much the year 1998, the one we would enter. 1998 as after Messiah, of course. So 5,998. And that would be the beginning. So if that calculation is correct, I may not, I may have missed something, but if that calculation is correct, then we would be in the beginning in just a couple weeks. And not only that, I started saying all of that because we read here that it says there should be delay no longer. And that is amazing. As if the Almighty was telling us at the end of a year, as we are right now, that He won't delay the end no longer. And my point is that it is interesting to read something about time and times at the end of a year, meaning to read about the end times on the end of a time. And also, I had seen in my time reading scriptures and teaching scriptures a couple years throughout, let's say, just the 7 years of the ministry, almost 8 now. I had seen a couple years, mainly one, in which everything seems to be so very well, pretty much set up for the end. Yet it didn't happen, obviously, and it could have been obviously because it just wasn't the time, or because the Almighty decided to delay it for whatever reason, like the two witnesses not being ready or whatever. And I say that in the sense that even if He had to delay it for whatever reason, that delay was already seen from the beginning of time, so it was counted in the time, just in case. There are no mistakes for the Father. But from our perspective, it seems like it could have happened a long time ago for all the signs that have been happening. So that's why the more time passes, the more we may think that it's about to start. The fact that he says that delay no longer, there should be delay no longer, kind of points to the fact that there was a delay, but there won't be a delay anymore. And I repeat, reading this on the last day of the year, about to start a year that could be the beginning of the last 7, I find it very interesting, and I don't believe in coincidences. And by the also, like I said, we are going to read Revelation 11, which is the 2 witnesses, next. So that may be a little confirmation. I wouldn't find it little, but for those who don't believe in those type of confirmations, that seems like a little confirmation from the Father. So it's very nice. So it says that there should be delay no longer. So when the Malach is going to manifest on earth to reveal the teaching of the Creator as one of the 2 witnesses, that is the beginning of the last 7 years. Once the 7 years start, there won't be a delay for everything else. For once it starts, every date, every amount of days that will be fulfilled, every plague and everything is already set up for each day of that week of years mentioned in Daniel 9. So that there should be delay no longer. But in the days of the sounding of the 7th Malach, which is the one here speaking, which is Michael, which to be able to sound the trumpet, he first has to die and resurrect. But by the time that he resurrects, he's given authority, he sounds the trumpet, then everything is over. For at least when it comes to the mercy that the Almighty has given to humans for them to be able to be saved without dying. So it says that there should be delay no longer, but in the days of the sounding of the 7th Malach, when he is about to sound, the mystery of Elohim would be finished. When he is about to sound, he is about to sound the 7th trumpet when he resurrects. So he's pretty much saying when the last resurrects, then everything is done. It's over. Everything will be already fulfilled. And look what it says. But in the days of the sounding of the 7th angel, when he is about to sound, the mystery of Yahweh would be finished. What mystery? Everything that has been revealed through the prophets will be finished. This is very important for several reasons. Hopefully I remember all of them. One of them, when the Messiah was on the cross dying, he said, "It is finished. It is finished." But he was referring to his part. He was referring to what he had to fulfill. For we read here that when the 7th trumpet sounds, then it is finished. As a matter of fact, it says about to sound. And like I said, the 2 witnesses, in this case the witness like Moshe, dies right before the 7th trumpet sounds. If we read Revelation 11, the 2 witnesses die, resurrect, and then the 7th trumpet sounds in the same chapter. So we see that it correlates to when the Messiah came. When he is about to sound, the mystery of Yahweh will be finished. Yahushua came, but his coming to the earth was a mystery to humans. So they rejected him and killed him. After he was killed, it was revealed through the Ruach that he fulfilled the prophecies. So that mystery was revealed, was finished. For when he died, he said, "It is finished." Also, we could even say that when he said it is finished, he referred to everything. For everything was connected to that moment in time. Everything regarding eternal life, regarding resurrection, was connected to the Messiah dying and resurrecting for us. But when it comes to the chronological order in which everything would be fulfilled, there are still certain things to be completed, to be manifested. Like I said, when the Messiah died, he said, "It is finished." Now we are seeing here that about that before the trumpet sounds, the two witnesses will die. And that is when the complete mystery of Yahweh will be finished. Yahushua finished his part, then comes the last to finish his part. When both finish their part, everything will be fulfilled, for each part will become one and a whole. Wisdom and understanding, so that the mystery may be revealed. So when he is about to sound, the mystery of Yahweh would be finished, as he declared to his servants the prophets. So the prophets revealed the coming of the first and the coming of the last. People didn't get the coming of the first, and they won't get the coming of the last. But once the first and last have already come and died, then everything will be fulfilled. Everything will be finished. And only those who have accepted first and last will be given the understanding of the whole mystery. For those who remain on earth, even though the mystery is finished, revealed, and everything, those who remain on earth and rejected the two witnesses will be as beasts, because they get the mark of the beast. And since they are as beasts, they are not able to understand intellect. They are not able to understand the mystery of Yahweh, as he declared to his servants the prophets.